Now, you were born in 19,
18,
okay,
March 10th.
and so now it's 95 years later.
95 years later.
How was it being a child in those days compared to now with the technology? How'd you spend your time when you were young? Like 10, 11? What were you doing? You didn't, did you have television?
No, we had no television. We got the television when my little girls were born. But
Was it black
we
and white?
spent our time mostly helping our parents in the business.
But when you were 10, you were in the restaurant? No, that was young.
Well, I hardly even remember back then. I don't remember
So the
too
first
much.
thing you remember is working in the store.
Well, we always worked in the store.
And did you get paid?
No, we never got paid.
What a,
Now I resent a lot of things when I think of it now.
because you didn't get paid?
No, we never got paid. We were a family. We got whatever we needed. My father said, not this week, next week,
What?
if we wanted to buy a new dress or something. He always said, oh, in the spring.
What was your job in the restaurant?
Everything. I used to open the store in the morning.
What does that mean?
Well, I cleaned up and put out whatever had to go out on the counter.
Before the people came in?
Yeah, we opened it early, you know. So we cleaned the counter, we washed
Okay,
it.
so you opened the store, and then what was your job?
Then I guess I was a little older. I don't know. I didn't open it when I was 10.
No.
I don't even remember.
Okay, and then when the store was open, what, were you a waitress?
Yeah.
Did you cook the food? No.
Yes, I could. We did whatever we had to do.
Did you peel potatoes?
We peeled potatoes. We did whatever we had to.
Okay.
My friend used to come in and sit and talk with me
While you were working?
while I was peeling the potatoes or whatever it
Oh.
was I was doing, washing the dishes, waiting on customers
And then lunch you had in the store?
in the store. People came in for lunch, and
Okay.
I was the waitress.
Okay. So what
We
did you
never got tips in those days.
do? No.
Oh, sometimes if they left us a nickel, that was like
It was a lot of money.
5 cents a tip. But we never. It wasn't a style in those days.
So what'd you do for fun? You said you resented working or you liked working?
I didn't resent it. It was accepted.
Hmm.
I resent it now when I think
Oh,
back.
Why?
Well,
You should have got paid.
because I never held a job really, and we never got paid. We never got paid.
Okay. And then what'd you do for fun? On the weekend? Did you work on the weekend?
Sure, the weekend was the busiest time.
So how'd you have time to go out with your future husband? That was later.
That was later, and we really, we didn't,
Did you watch TV at night?
we didn't have any TV in those days.
When did you remember getting your first TV?
Yes, when my little girls were very young. I remember taking Alexa out to the school bus, and Rosalind used to sit in front of the TV while I was out for a few minutes. And that's when we had the first the TV.
So now you're talking about when you're married and you're not working anymore.
That's right.
Did you
I
work
was-
when you were married?
Um,
I think you worked for a day.
yeah,
One day.
one day maybe.
Oh, would you work
No,
at?
because my mother sold the business after we got married.
Right. But didn't you work for one day in Alexander's or some store?
Oh, I did, yes, Lord and Taylor, I think.
Lord and Taylor, you lasted one day.
Well, no, I worked for a while, but then I kept thinking the ink was I was allergic to the ink, and my fingers were getting funny.
The ink from
And then
what?
I was thinking that for the measly $1.70, I think
An hour?
was the minimum.
Wage.
For the minimum wage, I'd get killed on the way home.
What ink? The ink from the receipts?
I was in the office keeping the books or something.
Oh, okay.
A very short time.
So there were no iPhones, there were no...
No, nothing like that.
So what'd you do for fun?
For fun?
Yeah.
My friend Clara and I used to talk a lot, and we went for long walks. We walked to Prospect Park on Friday night. And Friday night, the store was closed. My mother used to go to the shows, to the Jewish shows on the east side.
You were living where? In what town? In Brooklyn?
Well, at one time we lived in Brooklyn, Williamsburg. I don't really remember it too much all the way back. But I did wonder, I was wondering, I saw a program all about the Bible stories.
Right.
And I wondered, how did I know those Bible stories? Because I didn't.
You didn't read the Bible?
I don't remember reading them in the Bible, and I didn't go to
so you saw it in the
school
movies
or anything, but so I figured I must have read it. Well, but then I realized that I knew them from the movies.
So for fun, you went to the movie?
Yeah, we went to the movie.
How much was a movie back then?
Oh my God, I don't remember.
$1? 5 cents.
No.
How much was a pickle or a corned beef sandwich?
Oh, corned beef
when
sandwich
you were there,
was
working?
10 cents or 15 cents.
For a sandwich?
Yeah.
And what was that thing about the mustard?
Oh,
Your
my
job.
mother used to make like a little cornicule with the paper. We had paper like
butcher paper?
yeah, like
Waxed.
yeah, like a waxed paper.
And then you'd put the
And
mustard
like,
in there,
put
a little
mustard
bit.
in there, yeah, and folded the top.
Into, yeah.
And that when they had an order, we'd give them a couple of those mustard. When my mother first got her job, and they told her to make a mustard, she was very good at it. They said she was a born.
What do you mean she got a job before she bought the restaurant?
I don't remember. I guess maybe before she.
Maybe they were
went-
training her when she first got
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Right.
When she first went into the.
So everybody was working in the store, including your father.
Yes. But then my father was sickly, and he had an insurance policy. He wasn't allowed to work. So then later in the years, my sister and I worked with my mother. My father didn't work in the store anymore.
So your mother was
My mother was the.
She was ahead of her time, your mother. She was a working woman.
My mother was she went to school in Europe, and she was a very bright woman.
Did she spoke English, of course.
Yes, very well.
And she read Yiddish?
Books. Yeah, she read Yiddish, and she wrote Hebrew letters.
But she couldn't write in English, I remember.
I don't know.
She had difficulty.
No.
She could speak
Oh,
English,
she
could
spell.
read.
She couldn't spell.
Right.
She didn't spell correctly. That's
Okay.
right.
So was she living with you? After your father died,
Yeah.
did she live with you?
Yeah.
And where was your...
Oh yeah, she lived with me for a couple of months, and then my sister lived in California, so she stayed with my sister for a couple of months.
Okay, and then Irving had a sister.
Irving had one sister.
And did she work in the business?
She did.
How long?
At one time. But she didn't get along with her brother too well.
Was
But
he
she
hard to
had-
get? Was he hard to get along with? Your husband.
Well, I guess it wasn't hard for me.
You got along with him.
I got along with him, but
And the secret.
he had certain
So yes,
idiosyncrasies, I guess you would call them.
okay. The other time you told me the secret of a long life. What's the secret of a good marriage? You were married how many years?
Oh my God, we were married in 1939, so figure it out.
Okay.
39, and he died in 1995.
Okay.
I think
So
he
what was
died.
the secret to a long marriage like that? What's the secret you could give me as your son-in-law? What should I be doing or not doing?
I really don't know of any special secrets, except you have to be tolerant of. I don't know.
Well, I don't think he was so easy to get along with your husband.
I don't remember that it was difficult. I suppose he had his ways, you know. We had our talks, and I told him he thinks with a man's brain, and I think with a woman's brain.
Okay. And what was this? Vive la différence?
Viva la difference.
That used to say that. Vive la différence?
We were different, but viva la...
No, I think you used to say, what's the difference between a man and a woman? What was your expression? I don't remember.
know. I don't remember what you...
I remember all your expressions. Murray has to make a living,
My father said
which meant that, what?
that the lady who's should go to buy her delicatessen in Murray's store.
So somebody would
Which
come
was
in and
2
complain about what, the price?
Yeah, she used to complain about a lot of things. The price. She said we were like a drugstore. Very high priced.
So then
So
your
my
father
father
said,
said, go to Murray's, 2 blocks down. He has to make a living too.
right. And then the other saying was, I remember, this too shall pass. That's your saying.
Yes.
Which means what? When something bad is happening?
Something bad might be happening. And so we say, and this too shall pass. I hardly even remember saying
I
it.
remember all your sayings.
Yes,
Yeah.
you do.
I'm a good student. All right. And what do you think the other day you were on the iPhone and the iPad and you saw the children? What do you think now from when you were young to how the technology has changed?
Oh, I don't know what to think. I feel like I'm not part of this world because I don't really, understand or make use of all the new technologies.
Oh, I remember in line with that, what one of your saying was, I asked you, what skills do you have? What do you have? And your answer was, you have the.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Oh, I said my one. I forgot already what I said.
Your skill.
My one gift.
Oh, your gift. Okay.
Is the art of appreciation.
Which means.
Which means, like, I'm not an artist, or I can't do these things, play good music, but I can appreciate.
Which is very good. So you enjoy a good book.
Things.
I know you like to read biographies.
Yes, I like.
Why biographies and not fiction or something else?
Well,
you like to hear people's stories?
It's true to life, and if it's well written, with good literature.
And music?
That's what I enjoy, and I enjoy good music. Okay. And there are many things I enjoy in life.
Like?
Well, my children, for one thing.
What's good about your children?
They're wonderful children. Even though I raised a handicapped child from birth, but she gave us a lot of pleasure, and she's still here. She's 64 years old, and she's still very nice. She's a very nice person. Everybody likes her.
Good.
I think she has my positive attitude.
Right.
I think that's why. And of course, my second daughter was a born psychologist.
Maybe that's how she handled it.
My first daughter. My first daughter really went through a lot with me in bringing Rosalind up.
Wasn't easy.
No, it wasn't easy, and she understood a lot about it, and she was very good with her friends. Her friends' parents always liked her because she was a good influence on their children,
right.
And to this day, and her profession was psychology.
And what happens when
she understands people?
Right. And what happens when your daughter brought home your son-in-law? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I guess I did.
I got along very well with you.
Yeah.
And your mother.
But my husband didn't like you were wearing, at that time it was fashionable for men to wear beards.
Now it's back in fashion.
It's back in fashion.
And what did he say? Do you remember what he said for the wedding? What he wanted me to do? Do you remember that
story? He wanted to pay you to...
Right. He wanted to pay me $500 to take off the beard and the mustache.
Yeah, but you wouldn't do it.
Well, that was the worst thing he could say. I would never do it then.
But he accepted you very well because he was happy for his daughter. And
your grandmother, happy. Your mother was very funny, I remember. She had a good sense of humor.
She was very bright, and she had a good sense of humor. Yeah. Everybody remembers her for some of her little sayings.
Maybe you got some of your sayings from her.
I probably did. Okay. But,
all right, I think we're going to stop for today. Okay. Is there any last advice you want to give people about good marriage, good life, or
I
Anything
can't
else?
advise anybody.
But you're the matriarch of the family.
I am now. Most of my family's gone, actually. Florence is really the last of my family.
Right.
And
But your mother was the matriarch. What does that mean when they say that the person is the matriarch of the family? Means everybody comes to them for advice?
For advice, or like they're the head of the
It's like the
family.
Godfather.
Not exactly. But she was very bright.
She wasn't religious,
No, we weren't religious, but we followed all the traditions.
but the store was open on the Sabbath
Yes, it was.
because the neighborhood was not Jewish.
I don't think that was the reason.
You wanted to get the business.
It was a day of business.
Right.
So we worked.
Okay, well, thank you for today. Ciao.
Ciao.